The Apocalypse of Abraham. The book of the Apocalypse of Abraham, son of Terah, son of Nahor, son of Zerug, son of Araphaxad, son of Shem, son of Noah, son of Lamech, son of Methuselah, son of Enoch, son of Jared. On the day I was guarding the gods of my father Terah and the gods of my brother Nahor, while I was testing to find out which god is in truth the strongest, I then, Abraham, at that time when my lot came, when I was completing the services of my father Terah's sacrifice to his gods of wood, of stone, of gold, of silver, of copper, and of iron, having entered their temple for the service, I found a god named Meremoth, carved from stone, fallen at the feet of the iron god Nachum. And it came to pass that when I saw it, my heart was perplexed, and I thought in my mind that I, Abraham, could not put it back in its place alone, because it was heavy, being made of a big stone. But I went and told my father, and he came in with me, and when we both lifted it up to put it in its place, its head fell off, even while I was holding it by its head. And it came to pass, when my father saw that the head of his god Meremoth had fallen, he said to me, Abraham. And I said, Here I am. And he said to me, Bring me the axes and chisels from the house. And I brought them to him from the house. And he cut another Meremoth from another stone, without a head. And he smashed the head that had fallen off Meremoth, and the rest of Meremoth. He made 5 other gods, and he gave them to me, and ordered me to sell them outside on the town road. I saddled my father's ass, and loaded them on it, and went out on the highway to sell them. And behold, merchants from Fantana of Syria were coming with camels on their way to Egypt to buy a cochineal from the Nile. I asked them a question, and they answered me, and walking along I conversed with them. One of their camels screamed. The ass took fright and ran away and threw off the gods. 3 of them were crushed, and 2 remained intact. And it came to pass that when the Syrians saw that I had gods, they said to me, Why did not you tell us that you had gods? We would have bought them before the ass heard the camel's voice, and you would have had no loss. Give us at least the gods that remain, and we will give you a suitable price. And I considered in my heart, and they paid both for the smashed gods and the gods of which remained, for I had been grieving in my heart now I would bring payment to my father. I threw the 3 broken gods into the water of the river Gur, which was in this place, and they sank into the depths of the river Gur, and were no more. As I was still walking on the road, my heart was disturbed, and my mind distracted. I said in my heart, What is this inequality of activity which my father is doing? Is it not he rather who is God for his gods, because they come into being from his sculpting, his planning, and his skill? They ought to honor my father because they are his work. What is this food of my father and his works? Behold, Meremoth fell and could not stand up in the sanctuary, nor could I myself lift him until my father came, and we raised him up. And even so we were not able to do it, and his head fell off of him. And he put it on another stone of another god, which he had made without a head. And, missing text, the other 5 gods, which God smashed in falling from the ass, who could not save themselves and injure the ass because it smashed them, nor did their shards come up out of the river. And I said to my heart, If it is so, how then can my father's god Meremoth, which has the head of another stone, and which is made from another stone, save a man, or hear a man's prayer, or give him any gift? And thinking thus, I came to my father's house, and I watered the ass, and gave him hay. And I took out the silver, and placed it in the hand of my father Terah, and when he saw it, he was glad, and he said, You are blessed, Abraham, by the God of my gods, since you have brought me the price for the gods, so that my labor was not in vain. And answering, I said to him, Listen, Father Terah, The gods are blessed in you, because you are a god for them, because you made them. For their blessing is their perdition, and their power is vain. They did not help themselves. How then can they help you or bless me? I was good for you in this transaction. For through my good sense I brought you the silver for the smashed gods. And when he heard my speech, he became furiously angry with me, because I had spoken harsh words against his gods. But having pondered my father's anger, I went out, and afterward, when I had gone out, he called me, saying, Abraham. And I said, Here I am. And he said, Up, gather wood chips, for I was making gods from fir before you came, and prepare with them food for my midday meal. And it came to pass, when I was choosing the wooden chips, I found among them a small god, which would fit, missing text, in my left hand. And on its forehead was written, God Beresat. And it came to pass, when I put the chips on the fire, in order to prepare the food for my father, and going out to inquire about the food, I put Beresat near the enkindling fire, saying to him threateningly, Beresat, watch that the fire does not go out before I come back. If the fire goes out, blow on it so it flames up. I went out and made my counsel, and when I returned, I found Beresat fallen on his back, his feet enveloped by the fire and burning fiercely. And it came to pass, when I saw it, I laughed, and said to myself, Beresat, truly you know how to light a fire and cook food. And it came to pass, while saying this in my laughter, I saw that he burned up slowly from the fire and became as ashes. I carried the food to my father to eat. I gave him wine and milk, and he drank, and he enjoyed himself, and he blessed Merimoth his god. And I said to him, Father Terah, do not bless Merimoth your god, do not praise him. Praise rather Beresat your god, because as though loving you, he threw himself into the fire in order to cook your food. And he said to me, Then where is he now? And I said, He has burned in the fierceness of the fire and has become as dust. And he said, Great is the power of Beresat. I will make another today, and tomorrow we will prepare my food. When I, Abraham, heard words like this from my father, I laughed in my mind, and I groaned in the bitterness and anger of my soul. I said, How then is a figment of a body made by him, Terah, an aid for my father? Or can he have subordinated his body to his soul to a spirit, and the spirit to stupidity and ignorance? And I said, It is only proper to endure evil, that I may throw my mind into purity, and I will expose my thoughts clearly to him. I answered and said, Father Terah, whichever of these gods you extol, you err in your thought. Behold, the gods of my brother Nahor, standing in the holy sanctuary, are more venerable than yours. For behold, Zacchaeus, my brother Nahor's god, is more venerable than your god Merimoth, because he is made of gold, valued by man, and if he grows old with time, he will be remodeled, whereas Merimoth, if he is changed or broken, will not be renewed, because he is stone. What about Iov, the god on the other hand, who stands with Zacchaeus? For he is also more venerable than the god Beresat. He is carved from wood and forged from silver, because he too is a term of comparison, being valued by man according to external experience. But Beresat, your god, when he was still not carved, rooted in the earth, being great and wondrous, with branches and flowers and praise. Missing text. But you made him with an axe, and by your skill he was made a god. And behold, he has already dried up, and his fatness has perished. He fell from the height to the earth. He came from the greatness to smallness, and the appearance of his face wasted away. And he himself was burned up by the fire, and he became ashes and is no more. And you say, Let me make another, and tomorrow he will make my food for me. But in perishing, he left himself no strength for his own destruction.